Welcome to a journey through the annals of time, tracing the birth and rise of one of history's most remarkable civilizations, ancient Egypt. Central to this epic story is the Nile River, the lifeblood that sustained and shaped this great civilization. To truly understand ancient Egypt, we must delve into the geological and stone ages, exploring how the Nile was formed and how it influenced the early stages of Egyptian society. Our story begins millions of years ago during the geological ages when the Earth was a dynamic and ever-changing planet. The African continent, once part of the massive supercontinent Gondwana, began to break apart and drift due to tectonic movements. This geological activity led to the formation of significant features such as the Great Rift Valley, which runs from the Red Sea through East Africa. As the land masses shifted and the Great Rift Valley took shape, a series of lakes and rivers began to form in the region. These early water bodies were the precursors to the Nile River. Over millions of years, these lakes and streams coalesced, gradually carving out the path of what would become one of the longest and most important rivers in the world. The Pleistocene epoch, around 2.6 million years ago, we witnessed significant climatic and environmental changes. The Pleistocene was marked by repeated glaciations, periods of extensive ice coverage followed by warmer interglacial periods. These glacial cycles played a crucial role in shaping the Earth's surface. During these cycles, glaciers advanced and retreated, sculpting the landscape and contributing to the formation of river systems. As the glaciers melted, they released vast amounts of water which fed into the growing Nile River. This process gradually defined the river's course, extending from the highlands of East Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. As the Nile began to take its modern form, it became a magnet for early human populations. During the Stone Age, which spans from approximately 2.6 million to 3,300 BCE, early humans were drawn to the river's abundant resources. Archaeological sites like Nabta Playa in southern Egypt reveal that by around 8000 BCE, people had started to form communities along the Nile. These early settlers engaged in hunting, fishing, and gathering, taking full advantage of the river's resources. The Nile's predictable flooding cycle was particularly beneficial, as it ensured a reliable source of water and fertile soil. As people began to domesticate plants and animals, they established more permanent settlements. The Nile's annual flood cycle, which deposited nutrient-rich silt onto the floodplains, played a critical role in this agricultural revolution. This fertile soil allowed the early Egyptians to cultivate crops such as wheat, barley, and flax. The surplus of food supported growing populations and led to the development of larger, more complex communities. These early agricultural villages set the stage for the emergence of a sophisticated and powerful civilization. By the pre-dynastic period, roughly 6000 to 3150 BCE, these communities had evolved into more organized and interconnected societies. They developed distinct social structures, engaged in trade, and created early forms of art and culture. The Nile was not only a source of sustenance but also a vital artery for communication and commerce. Trade networks extended along the Nile and beyond, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE marks the beginning of the dynastic period and the birth of the ancient Egyptian state. The Nile's central role in this unification cannot be overstated. The river served as a natural highway, linking the disparate regions and enabling the centralized administration that characterized the early Egyptian state. With unification came the rise of powerful pharaohs, monumental architecture, and the rich cultural legacy that we associate with ancient Egypt. The Nile, with its life-giving waters, was the backbone of this burgeoning civilization. In religion, the Nile was revered as a divine gift. The annual inundation was seen as a blessing from the gods, particularly Hapi, the god of the Nile. This reverence is reflected in countless religious texts, rituals, and monuments. Economically, the Nile was a vital trade route. Boats traveled up and down the river carrying everything from grains and textiles to exotic items from distant lands. This commerce contributed to Egypt's prosperity and its ability to influence surrounding regions. As we reflect on the legacy of ancient Egypt, it's clear that the Nile was more than just a river. It was the lifeblood of a civilization that achieved remarkable feats in art, science, and culture. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of history's greatest civilizations.